Hey guys, what's up? It's Kev for the win. Back for another edition of Monster Hunter Rise. Today on the channel, we're actually going to take a look at a full set armor, that being the Archfiend Armor. Here it is, Archfiend Armor Serato, which gives us Weakness Exploit, Resentment, Earplugs, Critical Eye. Next up, Archfiend Armor Baloo, Weakness Exploit, Resentment, Chain Crit, Critical Boost. Archfiend Armor Epin, Dereliction, Resentment, Critical Boost. Archfiend Armor Ra, Weakness Exploit, Chain Crit, Critical Element. We're going to also use Archfiend Armor Ceresos. This will give us Dereliction, Resentment, and Attack Boost. We're going to be using for our Talisman and Earplugs with Attack Boost on it as well. So, overall, I'm also going to be using the Insect Glaive here just because it's a nice little build. So, Attack Jewel level 2, Camioso Jewel, Earplug Jewel free, Critical Element Jewel 2. Here, Critical Jewel 2, Critical Jewel 2, Critical Jewel 2, Critical Element Jewel plus 4, Attack Jewel 2 times free. And then here, an Attack Jewel 2. Let's show you a full breakdown of the stats. Alright, so first off, 362 attack, 40 Dragon Element, 20% Affinity, 721 Defense. Obviously, we can't take a hit from Thunder, and we don't like to play with dragons so much. But we get the 5-piece bonus. For skills, let me show you right now. Those are the swap skills that I'm going to be using for the Insect Glaive, which is a pretty good thing to use, as well as Sword and Shield for this, or Dual Blades. Any of those work. So attack boost level 5, resentment 5, earplugs 4, critical boost free, weakness exploit free, critical element free, dereliction free, which we're going to be abusing in conjunction with chain crit free. Our skills that we have on here as well is a constitutional, although it's not going to come into play too much here for this particular build. But as you see, we're going to be abusing, once again, dereliction. So here we go, attack boost here. Resentment, anytime we're in the red, we do increased amount of damage, plus 25. Earplugs, just the way we can nullify some of the strong roars. Critical boost, 40% whenever we do critical hits. Weakness exploit, anytime we hit a weak spot, 50% increased affinity. Critical element just basically increases the elemental damage. Since we're using a Dragon Glaive here, this is going to come in handy. Dereliction, which we're going to be abusing. We're going to switch to a blue scroll, which allows us to increase our attack tremendously, as well as our stun potency. Chain crit, anytime we continuously land hits, increase the attack and elemental attack that we do. And Constitution just will help us not burn through as much stamina. So this is the full build for the Archfiend Armor. You have to fight basically the last story monster in the game to be able to make this particular armor. Overall, that's a pretty easy thing to do. One of the things I would recommend with this particular armor is that you definitely need to eat a gourmet fish. Then I would switch to the blue scroll as fast as possible. I'm going to be fighting a Tetradon here, because even though we like punching up on Great Azuchi quite a bit on this channel, I want to be able to get a little bit of a different perspective as to aerial combos with the Insect Glaive. Like I said, when it comes to this particular armor, the free weapons that will do the best for it are Insect Glaive, Dual Blades, and Sword and Shield. Since I had just covered a Sword and Shield guide, I really didn't want to do another Sword and Shield battle with this, so I figured we'd change it up a little bit with an Insect Glaive, because the Insect Glaive actually can benefit quite a bit from the skills that we will be using, and particularly the armor set here. As you see, one of my endgame builds already for Insect Glaive already used Dereliction. So here, again, with any type of build where we're using Dereliction, we have to be very, very careful, because it is a glass cannon. We will take a lot of damage. We will deal a lot of damage, but we don't really like to take a hit. Case in point there, when we take a hit, we take a really big hit. But that's the trade-off for being able to do a lot of damage here. We were able to get a stun here thanks to the blue scroll. I'm out of position. Let's see if I can get a combo off. I probably won't be able to get the triple glaive combo off here. I might have to sell for 2. Let me sell for 2. We're able to get a third one. I don't think we get all of that. No, we don't. So overall, this is a pretty good build. One of the things that you have to keep note of is as you're climbing a little bit higher in your master rank for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, for those of you who are lower level, this armor actually does pretty good at helping you get past the master rank 70 monster, which I don't really want to spoil that in particular, as well as the master rank 100 monster, due to the fact that this has 721 defense. The only armors that have 721 defense concurrently in the game is the Malzeno armor, which I'm going to be covering in the next video guide, as well as the Rajang armor. And there is also a couple other dragon monsters in the game whose armor are that. But this one is perhaps packs the most punch, So if you're just one of those people that wants to go full-on non-mixed Dereliction build, this is probably your way to go. The fact that it gives you a lot of slots available to gem in whatever you want to gives you a bit of flexibility. Again, though, you have to be very careful, obviously, with your health, because even against some of the weaker monsters, as you see here, we burn through things quite a bit. But the trade-off is we're able to stun monsters pretty fast. Oh, we're in the middle of a turf war here. Let's see if we can jump on the Tetradon. We'll collide into the Royal Loot off here if we can. Oh, no, I botched that one. That's fine. That actually probably saved us a little bit of time, even though I would prefer to play the minigame here. Let's see if we can get a buff here. Can I get all this? No. Let me just get out of position here. Might be able to hit this. Alright, good. Unfortunately, our healer cat has not healed us here. Alright, that's not good. We gotta move out of the way. If not, we'll take an unnecessary hit here. So again, we're a glass cannon. So that's the drawback with this armor, despite the fact that we do have a lot of defense here. We can take a lot of good hits. Obviously, if you're looking for something to just be able to tank against the anomaly monsters in particular, you're going to want to check out the next build that I do, which is the Malzena armor. This Malzena armor allows you to fight some of the higher end anomaly monsters and be able to get back a lot of your health that you lose quite a bit of when you're actually fighting those things. I would not recommend using the Archfiend Armor against any of the anomaly monsters, just based on the fact that they will hit you way too hard, and because of Dereliction's very heavy cost of burning for your life tremendously, it's really not in your benefit to do that. Alright, let's see here. Can I get the hit off here? No, I forgot to jump off like a dingus. Alright. Well, it's a good thing I didn't do it anyway, because we were going to lose our buff there. Alright, let's get this back. Fire off there. Oh, we missed it. Let's recall the Consect here. For those of you who are wondering what Consect I'm using, I am using the attack one. The attack assist one allows us to get double buff, so whenever I hit with white, I get red-white. Whenever I hit the yellow, I get red-yellow. So it just saves you some time in terms of trying to build up your triple bug. Remember, your triple bug, in particular, you have high-grade earbuds when you eventually get it to triple bug buff. On top of that, you get increased affinity as well, which kind of helps with this build that we're rocking anyway. Let me see if I can drop down here. I think I got a little bit of the tail there. Alright, let's fire off. But, yeah. I would still say if you're going for a Dereliction build, you probably don't want to go full Archfiend Armor. I know people have been asking me to cover this armor, which is why I'm doing it right now. Because I know it's been something that people have asked whether this is something you could use effectively or not. You can use it effectively up until a certain point. I wouldn't necessarily do anomaly monsters with it. Anything probably pre-Master Rank 30, yeah, definitely you could do it. The weird thing about this particular armor is that it takes such a long time to farm for it, considering everything that you need, even though the boss fight is pretty easy to do if you're doing light bowgun. If you're playing against the final boss, if anything other than a light bowgun or heavy bowgun, it's going to take you quite a while to be able to do things. Okay, so Tetradon stunned again. We're going to just go to town here. As you can see here, we're going to keep targeting the monster's spots. We're constantly hitting for yellow here, because what we're trying to do is target the weak spots to get weakness exploit to go off, as well as critical boost, which we're doing pretty good here. We ran out of our bug buff. You can see the monster is now in blue. We're going to try to go back into triple bug buff here, if we can. Let's dodge out of the way. Try to target the tail. Alright, should be triple bug. We increased our affinity again. We should be hitting basically for 100 affinity anytime we attack a weak spot right now. If I can get a aerial attack off. Okay, let's see if I can get another aerial attack off. I don't think I'm going to be able to connect for a third one. Oh, no, I am. Alright, and that pretty much will take down the monster. Obviously, unlike mix sets, which give you a benefit of having just a wide variety of skills and everything of the sort, this one's a little bit more restrictive, even though it's got a lot of good gem slots. So, keep that in mind. So, if you still kind of want to go with a resentment build for just about any other weapon, most of the mix set guides that I have for various different weapons are probably your best way to go, because not only does it give you Dereliction, but most of the builds that I've covered also give you Blood Right, which is great because you're able to mitigate some of the life that you use up. However, if you don't want to go that route and you just, for whatever reason, want to use a full stat because you want the elemental resistance and everything of the sort, what you can do basically is you could, in theory, just put in a Chameleos gem, a Rampage gem, and you should be able to get back a significant portion of your health. Keep in mind also just using the Gourmet Fish help. You could also put recovery jewels here. There's a lot of different ways you can mitigate some of the life burn here. It's a matter of you just playing around with what you think works best. Me, I go for more attack. That way I can try to get the most efficient clear time that I can potentially get. for this particular build out. So it is a very cool looking armor, though. I think it's probably one of the things I would transmog for, as opposed to really using it for an actual build. But again, if you're struggling in Master Rank 70 and need an armor to maybe be able to farm from Elgado or anything of the sort, I think this is your way to go. Anyway, that's going to do it for today's Monster Hunter Rise video. As always, a like on this video is greatly appreciated. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, definitely consider doing so, as it helps the channel grow. And I'll see you for the next video, which is the Elgado armor.